Yeah.
Just one more and that's it. We are done and we'll be off.
2 more shots at the mirror and we are done.
One take very close.
Putting with the two hands like you're putting bearing, then you're going this side,
Okay.
and
That's
then going.
That's it. Like this? Okay,
Yeah,
let's
like
go.
this.
Let's go. Yeah. Sure, I had the choice. It was a matter of me wanting to please the parents as well as myself.
Okay, you change the other ear now.
Maybe I grew up with that notion that I will get married to an arranged marriage, so I never questioned it. That is really sad. It's kind of ugly. It's a nervousness that I've never felt before. It like it shoots through you. You know, it starts with your gut and it kind of like, oh my god, this is it.
Put your hand here. You can see. One over here.
Oh god! Do we have to do these things? We have to go for these.
You like it, Roma? Okay. Okay.
I really don't want to do this. Can we?
You sure?
Yeah, I really don't. It's not me. You go, girl. Girl.
You can go on endlessly looking for the most perfectly sculpted being. But that's kind of pathetic in some sense. I mean, if you're going to live your life in that realm of the eternal postponement because you think that something better is going to happen, it's never going to happen like that. I'm not sure what form of journey marriage would take, because I understand the singularity of the human condition. And yet I hope to create a kind of ambiance where some sort of nourishing can take place.
Arranged marriage was like the last thing I ever thought I would do. Before I started, somebody had asked me, "You think you're gonna do this?" And I said, "No, never. If I don't meet somebody on my own, that's just too bad."
How's it feel? I don't know. A little nerve-wracking. The guy I'm engaged to is modern. When he was 17 and he went through paramedic training, had seen a lot of deaths, and so it's built a lot of character and stability. So, and that's what I was looking for. First question is, do you get to see the person? Do you at least get to see the person? And I'll say yes. And then, how long do you go out with the person? If I say like maybe 2 days, that's when I get the, oh my goodness, you have to decide in 2 days. It's an agreement. It's like, okay, if you fulfill my end of the deal, I'll fulfill yours. And it's not to say that, you know, that's sounding like a business arrangement. But it is in a way. At the age of 21, I was looking, so that's a good 7 years. I would say maybe 5-6 guys a year that you would prospects. I'm not gonna say guys, prospects. It's what you would call an estimated guess. Could I have found somebody in Toronto? Why do I have to go all the way to Nashville?
If there was ever a record for the longest time spoken on the phone, I think I've probably broken it by now, because on average it's about 4 hours. So we've spent a lot of time over the phone and talking and building a long distance relationship, but we haven't seen much of each other. I think it's only twice.
Mom was born in Zimbabwe. My dad was born in India. They got married in about 1959. Same way, arranged marriage. Then my mom didn't see my dad. So it's a little bit better than me. Or worse, I don't know.
Well, I saw his brother. And I like the brother. I said, not that one. The other one, I said, no.
When the parents say to her, this is not the person that you're looking at, Then she said, no, I like the other one.
Just
I
a
didn't know.
glance, so I see the nice one.
And you know what? He got married to her cousin.
I based my decision on marrying Dimple based on his personality. And the first day we met, we had said, okay, let's get together and have a little chat of what we're each looking for in a marriage. And I'd say the first 6 hours of our discussion was what I'm looking for and what he's looking for. It was very serious. It was a formal, almost an interview. I was looking for companionship, more so than a wife to, you know, cater to his every whim. Iron for him and cook for him. And he wasn't looking for that. So, and I think in any marriage, there's compromise. In any relationship, there's compromise. And so, you have to give and take.
This journey that I've been compelled to make started with this recognition of myself as being Muslim. I mean, I wasn't raised in an Islamic household. My father was a Marxist, and I still feel an affinity for socialism, but at the same time, there was always this sort of absence of a spiritual component. This is, I think, the purpose of my life. Some kind of migration towards a wholeness, a completeness, and an understanding of what it means to be Muslim. I'm going to Toronto. My aunt has found some women within the community who would be interested in meeting with me. I don't know a lot about them. I've left it in what I hope are the capable hands of my aunt. I'm not going with any real expectation. I'm trying to cleanse my mind of all of my own stereotypes and prejudice.
I could not do this.
Yeah.
I don't know how you can do it.
Well, I haven't done it yet. You know, I've just, I arrived here yesterday, and you know, as I sort of disembarked, and I'm sort of overhearing the conversations that people are having, because, you know, plain conversations, and people are talking about, oh, why they've come, and what if somebody asks me that? What am I going to say? And I go, oh, well, I've come to choose my future wife. I don't think so. The concept of arranged marriage has certainly undergone a dramatic transformation. You know, this is not something which is part of some traditional machinery where you're born into it and you're carried along conveyor belt style, and then at a certain age, you know, you kind of go down that chute, and that's the marriage chute, you know. This is something where you have a lot of choice. It's surreal in some sense, right? I mean, you know, when I was sitting on the plane, for instance, you know, I'm sitting on the plane, I'm sitting next to this couple that's sort of bickering all the way, you know, and it's a charter flight, you know, seats are very cramped. I'm having to listen to this constant barrage of stuff going back and forth between them. They're married, obviously they've been married a long time, because they kind of hate each other, you know. It was so apparent. I thought, this is an omen. What am I doing? In my childhood, I don't think I ever really thought about how my parents met. It wasn't something that they talked about. My parents married out of love. They were kind of lost too, you know. They come from East Africa, they'd come to England, they didn't really know what was going on. They thought they'd come to the promised land, it turned out to be a dump, you know. They met independent of any kind of family structure. I think that sort of emphasis on love as opposed to sort of the orchestration has informed my life to some degree. I mean, I feel that is the most compelling aspect of choosing to be with somebody else. I want somebody who's learned, somebody who likes jazz, somebody who likes to read. Yeah, not much. The world, not much.
Beautiful, energetic Punjabi Khatri, Canadian-born, raised, 28, 5'2", systems business analyst, sincere, straightforward, affectionate, fun-loving, zest for life. Excellent East-West blend, seeks compatible Hindu-Sikh professional, mutual respect and equality. Please call or email. I put this ad in Matrimonial Classifieds, and phone started ringing. First couple of days, few calls started trickling in, and then the first weekend I must have gotten, I don't know, over 50 phone calls. Literally the phone rang non-stop. I spent my entire weekend on the phone. Established family invites proposals for Punjabi Hindu 31 and a half, 5'5". Yeah, divorced. Never mind. Alliance invited from outgoing, attractive, caring, and professional girls for clean shaven, handsome, athletic, jet-sick engineer. 26, 5'11" on H1 green card in process. I think I probably had a stereotypical view of what arranged marriages are all about.
Very handsome, Hindu, Punjabi, well established.
Parents meet parents, boy sees girl, girl serves tea.
Okay, should I call this one then?
Okay, she walked properly and that's it, they're getting married.
Hi, I'm calling about your ad in the India Abroad. Is that for you?
It's more like an introduction service for what it's evolved to today, or my personal experience anyways.
Well, I'm a systems analyst. I work for IBM.
It's a dating service,
Well,
pretty
it's
much,
kind
or
of
an
like
introduction
those
service.
Sort of things. I want somebody who would be basically my best friend that I enjoy
I think the
spending
difference
time with,
is
so
simply that we know we're going in for the purpose of marriage. Got letters from, like, I don't know, all over the world. I couldn't keep track of who was who. So then next weekend, second weekend, I got, again, another 50, 60 phone calls, and that we'd gone away for the weekend, so the answering machine was full of messages, and I'm just actually going through some of them now and figuring out which ones I want to call back just from the voicemails. I've gotten, like, close to 200 responses from this ad.
This is really good, Urchin. I've had some this afternoon.
Oh, this is extra.
Is it hot? Yeah, it's really hot. As long as it's
As I was growing up, I never hung around with Indian people. My parents, when I was about 16, I was like dating not Indian guys and whatever. My dad always used to say to me, mark my words, one day you'll change your mind yourself.
She asked me what I voted, and I told her.
And I have a couple of good Indian girlfriends who, they were a lot more Indian than I ever was, and always said, Regina, you're going to end up with an Indian guy. And I was like, never, ever, So arranged marriage was like the last thing I ever thought I would do, or that I would even marry an Indian guy at all. When I was really young, you know, people would make racial slurs and whatever, and I was conscious of it, but as I got older and learned more about my background, and I was always very proud to be who I was, and I've like worn suits to school and work, and you know, I'll wear a sari if I'm going to a wedding or something and run into like the mall to pick up something that I forgot, and I've never been like embarrassed or ashamed of that. I guess all of that combined made me really aware of who I am and what I really want out of life, and that I want to be able to share both sides of me with somebody who can understand that, yeah, I have dated, and that's because that is how we grew up here, and at the same time that I can make roti, and that's good too.
Now I'm going in to get turmeric on me. I don't know what it means. I'm not sure what it symbolizes, but I'll be forced, so. Oh, I've got to go. When I grew up, I mean, I used to watch Happy Days, The Brady Bunch, Charlie's Angels. That was always, you know, when you're like in grade 5, you know, you've got 3 other friends, you're one of each of the angels. And I always wanted to be an accountant, of all things. This has gone up to $30. I bought him at 18.
Right.
I mean, I know in grade 8 or something, you know, I knew that I was going to get into accounting. British Telecom. And Northampton total jump tackle, my value goes up. National Bank used to be at $8, 16.
Oh, all banks are doing good.
Yeah. I think as far as I can remember, I knew that I wanted to work. Because all the women in our community, they don't work. Most of them don't work within my environment. And so I didn't want to be that way. I wanted to get out and have a job and actually be self-sufficient and independent, financially independent.
We thought she will run away from home. At a point we thought that.
When?
Yeah.
I was never that bad.
Yeah.
Run away from home?
Yeah, at a point we thought that if you push too much, you would quit. Because she was strong at her points. She wanted to study. She wanted to finish her courses. And
find
she
somebody
said,
suitable.
if I find suitable.
You know, she used to say to me, well, you know, he's got 2 ears, 2 eyes, and a nose.
That's why my mother told me. What more you want?
That's a great basis for a marriage.
It really hasn't hit me yet that I'm getting married tomorrow. And it's kind of strange, but I'm happy about it. I'm very upbeat about it. And it's something that I wanted to do. So, you know, it's not, in that sense, I'm looking forward to it. And I think both of us are looking forward to it.
Fasten your seatbelts, because we're going to give you a blast. एक लड़की को देखा तो ऐसा लगा एक लड़की को देखा तो ऐसा लगा जैसे खिलता गुलाब जैसे शायर का ख्वाब जैसे चांदनी रात जैसे नरमी की बात जैसे मंदिर में हो एक जलता दिया
I've never done anything like this. It's a kind of like strange shopping trip, you know. I mean, in some really, you know, ridiculous sense. I mean, to sort of whittle it down to, you know, an essential thing. I'm not going there to go to the galleries or, you know, go sightseeing. I'm you know, going there to see these women, and it was just, I was like, oh my God, I don't know.
We just have to hope that our aunt in Toronto isn't just thinking about a pretty face.
I feel like a commodity. I feel like I'm sort of shopping around a commodity, and the commodity is me. You know? Especially in the situation of going and, you know, having my aunt sort of, you know, giving advance warning as to who and what I am about.
I don't
you know,
think
and then you
so.
feel like you go there and, you know.
Well, they're all different
Maybe you
forms.
feel like that all the
they're
time.
different forms of advertising. We use different forms of advertising when we
Yeah.
don't have an intercessor. It's like the way we dress and the kind of show that we put on when we're with someone.
Maybe arranged marriages in the very traditional sense are the least commodified, right? The least materialist in that sense, and the truest.
The truest.
So what are you going to wear tomorrow?
I don't know. I mean, you know, like, part of it is that I know my aunt would want me to, like, totally dress up, and you know, I was telling you that when I spoke to her, she thought I should get a suit, you know.
Oh my God.
I'm not a suit guy.
I think it's all to do with the consumer culture, consuming relationships and consuming people and having to move on to something new to consume.
Yeah, economic imperative, right?
Yeah.
Seems more important than other things too. The clothing is kind of a defense in some sense, right? When business people go out and wear power suits, it's a kind of defense against all of the kind of confusion
in that
and
context. But in
onslaught,
this context, it's because you want to strut around like a peacock. That's what it is. Don't give me that crap. Mister, I've got a 1/4 inch of hair on my head and I'll gel it and then put a baseball cap on.
So I put my own ad in and I got like over 200 responses. I kind of weeded them out rather quickly because I've been doing this for so long that I kind of know what it is that I'm looking for, and pretty much from hello I can tell if I want the conversation to continue or not. So I kind of got it down to 10 and then there was 3 left. And then it got really shortlisted and there's 1 left on the list and I'm meeting him tomorrow, so I'm kind of nervous.
You trying to impress me?
No, my car is always clean and it hasn't been washed for a long time, so I figured, well, may as well look nice, right?
He obviously wants to get married soon.
Well, I don't know. I think I probably want to get married sooner.
Your teeth are very white, Rosemary. Yeah? I don't think your teeth are going to be examined.
We both kind of, somewhere along the line, decided that we wanted to marry somebody Indian.
Why? What were his reasons?
Pretty much the same as me. Like,
which are what?
We want to have like the same cultural background and stuff like that. It just makes life easier.
You think culture makes a difference? How does he think that culture makes a difference? How does it make a difference to you? Because you were born and brought up in Canada, so you're just every bit Canadian.
Yeah, but I mean,
you don't
like,
do anything overly Indian.
If you could find somebody that has everything that you want, who is Indian, why would you not?
Yeah, okay, but don't you think, regardless of whether they're Indian or not, if someone has an interest in your culture and you have an interest in their culture, don't you think you're richer in the two cultures
so you
as opposed to
spend
one?
all of your time explaining your culture to somebody instead of just knowing that you understand that, like, you know, when you come home for dinner to your parents' house, you don't have to say, oh, well, you see, this is like a curry dish, and this is what it is. They just know what sabji is. The difference between you and me is that I like Indian music, Indian movies, you know, and like, I'm more Indian than you to begin with.
How are we gonna walk? Did we practice how we're gonna walk? Run! I've been so anxious all. Is my makeup taken? To me, our community is the people that I've grown up with around this area, who are my uncles and aunts and cousins. And there's a very special bond there. And that's probably what leads me to even getting in towards the arranged marriage. There's a closeness, there's their influence in my upbringing. And it's just accepted, it's a part of life. You don't question any other way of getting married.
These meetings are taking place in a variety of circumstances. And even though this meeting is taking place at Union Station, that does not detract from the sense that there is a kind of intimacy about this.